13th January 2023, and here are our headlines. Sarawak entrepreneurs awarded for excellence. Police probe into cemetery vandalism in MIRI, and classified materials found in Biden's home garage. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Muhammad Yusuf, and you're now watching TVS Nightline. Let us begin. Several documents marked classified were found in a locked garage of U.S. President Joe Biden's Delaware residence. Biden said his lawyers have notified the Justice Department immediately to get hold of the documents, and he promises its contents will be revealed later on.
As I said earlier this week, people know I take classified documents and classified materials seriously. I also said we're cooperating fully and completely with the Justice Department's review. As part of that process, my lawyers reviewed other places where documents from my time as Vice President were stored, and they finished the review last night. They discovered a small number of documents of classified markings in storage areas and file cabinets in my home and my personal library. This was done in the case of the Biden Penn. This was done in the case of the Biden Penn Center. The Department of Justice was immediately, as was done, the Department of Justice was immediately notified, and the lawyers arranged for the Department of Justice to take possession of the document. So we're going to see all this unfold. I'm confident.
In the meantime, no other classified documents were found in Biden's Rehoboth beach house. Now, the police are investigating an act of vandalism on the late Bill Kayong's grave, which is believed to have been damaged intentionally by irresponsible party at the Islamic Cemetery ground on Lusut Road, Lambir in MIRI on Thursday. MIRI District Police Chief Assistant Commissioner Alexan Naga Chabu, when contacted, confirmed that a police report has been lodged regarding the incident.
Terdahulu terdapat satu kenyataan dimuat naik di laman sosial Facebook, iaitu melalui pemilik akaun The Borneo Post pada tarikh 11 Januari lalu yang menunjukkan gambar batu nisan arwah Bill Kayong telah dirosakkan dengan sengaja oleh individu yang tidak bertanggungjawab. Susulan daripada kejadian itu, pihak kami telah membuka satu kertas siasatan bagi menyiasat perbuatan khianat ini di bawah Seksyen 427 Kanun Keseksaan.
He added further that perpetrator could face a jail sentence of 5 years or fine or both upon conviction.
Jadi berikutan daripada hal seperti ini, pihak PDRM ingin menasihatkan masyarakat supaya tidak membuat sebarang spekulasi dan menularkan isu-isu sensitif di media sosial yang mana boleh menimbulkan kerisauan dan kegusaran serta isu yang menjejaskan keharmonian dan kesejahteraan masyarakat.
At the same time, Alexan called on those with information can go to the nearest police station or contact investigating officer Sergeant Devora Julaimi at 085-433-730.
Now, a total of 256 entrepreneurs statewide have been nominated for the Sarawak Bumiputra Entrepreneurs Chamber DUBS Award 2022. Premier of Sarawak, Datuk Patinggi Tan Sri Abang Johari Tun Openg, who graced the event, noted that the awards were to honour entrepreneurs who have strived to grow and contribute to the local economy. For the latest updates on the award presentations, let's hear it from our reporter, Lorenzo Isaac, who is currently at Riverside Majestic Hotel, Kuching. Lorenzo, take it away.
Time for the creme de la creme window.
Thank you, studio. Currently, I'm at Riverside Majestic Hotel, whereby our Premier of Sarawak, Datuk Patinggi Tan Sri Abang Johari Tun Openg, will be awarding the Sarawak Bumiputra Chamber DUBS to 31 winners for the best entrepreneurs in Sarawak in 2022. He said a total of 251 have been nominated for the award, and he gave thanks to those who have contributed immensely to the local industry by growing the economy and provide business opportunities as well as job opportunities. At the same time, another surprise by the Premier, he also revealed that there will be a TV exchange program whereby the state-owned television, TVS, will be airing its drama to other countries, starting in Thailand soon. Although he did not specify when, he said he is looking forward for the creative industry players to come forward and pitch their ideas, especially on television films, series, programs, and so forth. Aside from just airing local series from TVS in Thailand, he hopes for the creative industry to learn by going to Thailand, for instance, to learn on networking, creative training, and so on. In this regard, he hopes that this exchange program will benefit the local players here in Sarawak to avoid a brain drainage, especially in the creative sector. He said Thailand will be one of the first to air Sarawakian series and hopes that it will continue to expand internationally. He is also confident that the state government, who wants to invest on new ideas, which is in tandem with the post-COVID-19 development strategy PCDS 2030. During his speech also, he stressed on biomass as a source of energy, and the palm oil sludge, apart from being an energy source, has a value as it is a component used in the manufacture of solar panel protection film. By 2025, he also revealed that methanol will be introduced and produced in Sarawak, which is also in line with the green energy. He also revealed that Petros is the third largest oil and gas company in Malaysia, with Petronas and Shell at first and second place. That's all the updates that I have for today. I'm Lorenzo Isaac and videographer Fikri Raza, reporting live for TVS Kuching. Thank you. We return to the studio.
Thank you, Lorenzo. Now, solar energy is part of an arsenal of renewable energy that plays an integral role of Malaysia's alternative source of energy. However, in efforts to encourage the adaptation of solar use in domestic users in the future, employing crucial aspects opens up opportunities and solutions for Sarawak to promote initiatives towards achieving the nation's pledge to reduce carbon footprint.
In Malaysia itself, by data 2019 and 2020 indicates that the current Malaysia, what we call it, a contribution, renewable energy contribution in the Malaysian energy is around 8%, even though we pledged in 2019 that by 2025 we should reach 20% of Malaysian mix of energy comes from renewable energy. Does this present a huge opportunity with Sarawak proposing or promoting these new possible initiatives to help Malaysia as a whole to reach its pledge, one, and secondly, to also help reduce the carbon footprint for the whole country.
However, he also pointed out on the challenges of implementing solar energy to be used in households, taking into consideration the standard economic aspects of the cost per house. Nur Azmi also suggests that offsetting the cost of installation should be one of the key matters to be considered in the installation.
One of the key factors that will be a big challenge for solar energy to be used for housing purposes would be the costings, the capex required in order for it to be installed and to be viable for economies of scale for a small installation. In essence, per house requires, a normal household requires around 5 to 10 kilowatt peak in terms of energy installations, and this is, from a standard economic capability of Malaysians, the pricing and costing is not as cheap. Thus, probably a way to promote and to, get more takers to actually take up installations of solar energy or solar-based energy for their housing would be by reducing or offsetting or subsidizing the capex or cost of the installations to the end user. Another way of doing it is probably providing a special fundings or a special financial assistance to the intended end user, whereby it would pretty much, open up more possible user for the solar energy for housing. I believe this is the most crucial and most critical point when it comes to the promotion of solar energy for housing areas.
Commenting further, Nur Azmi also suggested that hydrogen energy generation and a mix of solar energy would be one of the most practical method for renewable energy as its major sources.
One of the biggest challenge of solar in Malaysia is the irradiation rate. In general, in Malaysia, the irradiation rate does not, run for the whole day. Let's say, for example, the sun rises at 7 a.m. and sets at 7 p.m. But the solar power generation does not run as long as 12 hours. Normally, it's between 4 to 5 hours. Some places, for example, northern part of Peninsular Malaysia would have around 6 hours. But in general, it's 4 to 5 hours. So to say that the housing area to be entirely independent from the grid, from a conventional energy generation is going to be very challenging. My take would be a mix of solar and hydrogen energy generations would be the best bet for Sarawak in bid of being one of the key examples in this region of a state or a sovereign state with renewable energy as its major sources.
Now, on Thursday, Premier of Sarawak, Datuk Patinggitan Sri Abang Johari Tun Openg, called to expand the solar project in Sarawak as an alternative energy source.
Now, it is timely for the state government to revise and develop a more relevant system for pensioners to address the rising costs of living while ensuring civil servants' welfare are taken care of. Associate Professor from UNIMAS's Faculty of Business and Economics, Dr. Ayla Abdul Latif, said this will create a positive ripple effect to the state's economy while boosting the morale of civil servants to provide better service to the public.
Saya merasakan inisiatif dana pencen untuk penjawat awam negeri ini sejajar dengan kaedah penambahbaikan yang saya rasa sebenarnya seiring dengan perkembangan dan situasi ekonomi yang telah mengalami banyak perubahan pada masa sekarang. Ianya akan menjadi satu sokongan yang kukuh kepada tulang belakang kerajaan negeri, iaitu para penjawat awam ini sendiri, sekaligus memberi perkhidmatan yang terbaik untuk seluruh masyarakat negeri Sarawak dan akhirnya akan menyumbang kepada pembangunan negeri secara jangka panjang.
Ayla also compared the two main plans currently in practice for retirees in Malaysia, namely the pension scheme and the Employees Provident Fund, EPF. Though EPF offers tax exclusions, she said pensions are more beneficial for the long run.
Skim pencen ianya menawarkan jaminan jangka panjang selepas bersara, manakala skim EPF ataupun KWSP ianya memberi flexibility kepada para penjawat awam lah. Dan kita semua tahu bahawa golongan penjawat awam yang memilih pencen, skim pencen, rata-ratanya mereka akan mempunyai lebihan pendapatan ataupun disposable income dalam sekitar 11 hingga 15% berbanding dengan mereka yang mencarum. Tetapi dari segi kebaikan mereka yang memilih EPF ataupun KWSP, of course yang paling ketara adalah mereka mendapat pelepasan cukai pendapatan sehingga melayakkan ke kalau tak silap RM6,000 setahun, dan juga tabungan dalam KWSP ataupun EPF ini boleh digunakan untuk pengeluaran ahli bagi tujuan-tujuan tertentu. Tetapi yang boleh kita highlight di sini, selepas bersaraan mereka yang memilih KWSP ini ataupun EPF ini, mereka hanyalah bergantung kepada tabungan wang yang ada dalam KWSP itu.
Now, one of the biggest challenges that Malaysia faces is the lack of human capital. Hence, there is an ongoing need to rely on foreign workers. Taking pensioners as an example, Dr. Madeline Verma, an honorary professor from University Malaysia Sarawak, said that in the effort to remain productive, most pensioners would keep themselves busy by contributing to the society in various ways.
If you look at countries, the developed countries in the West, like even including Japan or even Singapore for that matter, we find that many of the pensioners or those who are already retired, because many of them are, some retire at the age of 70, so they have they still have time to contribute. Some of them just not really volunteer. They don't mind working, in fast food restaurants. They don't mind working, or even, become kindergarten teachers, to help out.
She added further that most Malaysians are now retired at the age of 60, but still able to work and share knowledge and experience.
So imagine from the time of their retirement up to 75, onwards, because there will be a gap of about 10 years. And these 10 years, there's a lot that they can do. Like many of us, even including myself, I still feel that I can contribute to society. Okay, probably not physically, because in the nature of work, depends on the kind of work that one performs. Like in my case, I was a former academic. So I can contribute to society in terms of my knowledge, my experience. So that is one way. But for those who can still contribute physically, I think they can still contribute in terms of productivity.
Meanwhile, Madeline also explained a few advantages of the pension scheme proposed by the Premier of Sarawak, Datuk Patinggi Tan Sri Abang Johari Tun Openg.
Now, why is it significant? Why is it important? There are a few advantages of having a pension scheme. As it is now, at the federal level, we do have our own pension scheme. So normally, pension schemes are created, as I said, is to create as a kind of, it provides a buffer, or rather for protection, especially to government officials, so they will have something to fall back on to when they retire after a certain age, when they reach retirement, because studies have shown that many pensioners fall below poverty line after they reach more than 5 years after they retire. Many of them do not have sufficient income because by the time they retire, there will be a big reduction in terms of their income. So without a pension scheme, so they will not be protected in their.
On to our next news. The high demand for water supply ahead of the festive season has caused 8 areas in Cebu district to face insufficient water supply, especially during peak hours. The Cebu Water Board, in its statement issued on Friday, said the affected areas are residents who are dependent on water supply from the Deshawn Booster Station.
SWB assured immediate action is to be taken to repair any pipe leakage, leak detection to reduce water loss, and continuous monitoring of the water supply problems at the Deshawn Booster Station. While several steps taken, namely deploying water tankers to the area at the request of the affected residents, and called upon the affected residents in the area to use water wisely and avoid wastage. The board also requested residents to report any water leak or burst pipe by contacting SWB via the 24-hour service line 013-810-6311.
Coming out right after the break, prevention is better than cure, and Ministry of Rural and Regional Development to focus on Sabah and Sarawak's development. Right here on TVS Nightline. Stay tuned. You're back with me on TVS Nightline. Shortly after closing off the New Year's celebrations, the next upcoming major holiday will be the Chinese Lunar New Year. Thus, increased cooking session, use of festive decorations and fireworks are a common practice in many countries. However, without proper handling, fireworks and firecrackers pose extreme danger threats. Careless handling not only causes property damage but also could injure, worse, could also cause casualties. Therefore, it is important to assure safety and preventive measures are set in place at all times.
According to Deputy Premier of Sarawak, Datuk Seri Dr. Sim Kui Hian, 90% of the fire incidents were caused by human negligence and ignorance. With the strategic partnership, members of the public can be advocated on the subject, which is vital having the know-how when faced with an emergency.
There are partners from Pali, Yayasan Pali, and from Sinchiu. And in fact, they're stepping forward and to help in their own ways to make sure that the message is reaching the ground, reaching everyone. And in fact, the local communities, and now there are a lot of hot eggs group. The local community hot eggs group, they should also send out all this information. Because why? When there's a fire, they have the knowledge what to do, not just finger pointing and quickly run down there to take live pictures,
Meanwhile, Sarawak Fire and Rescue Director Datuk Khairuddin Rahman said the department will increase its night patrols in conjunction with the celebration to ensure quick response if a distress occurred.
We also increase our protection, whereby we do our rodaan malam, night patrolling, to this certain area during the 3 days before celebrity season, and 3 days before we increase our presence at that time, actually 12 o'clock in the early mornings, we go our patrolling. If we receive a call, then we can respond immediately. At the same time, we want people to feel comfort because their friends, Jabatan Bomba Diplomat Negeri Sarawak is there to help them if they're in distress.
He told this to the reporters after launching the State Fire and Rescue Department's fire safety campaign in conjunction with Chinese New Year celebration 2023 on Friday. Khairuddin added that the campaign conveys the message that fire is colorblind, hence equipping themselves with the knowledge is essential.
Now, Sarawak and Sabah development shall remain the focus of the Ministry of Rural and Regional Development. Its Deputy Minister Datuk Rubiah Wang said infrastructure development that comprises road connectivity, economic development and public facilities shall be put forward.
Dan kita pihak kementerian kita tengah pun mengatur pendekatan-pendekatan. Cuma kita tidak dapat orang kata mengumumkan secara keseluruhan peruntukan untuk kedua-dua buah negeri, memandangkan dari sudut bajet sendiri pun belum lagi difinalize. So secara tidak langsung pembangunan 3 wilayah khususnya Semenanjung, Sabah dan Sarawak perlu orang kata diatur ataupun diatur semula. Dan kalau kita lihat menurut Datuk Seri Menteri kita di Semenanjung Malaysia banyak dah orang kata infra yang telah dilaksanakan, banyak kemajuan yang telah dilaksanakan dan hampir ke semua tempat sudah mendapat kemudahan khususnya termasuk di kawasan luar bandar.
The country's tax regime needs to be revamped and be in line with the world tax system in order to attract foreign direct investment or FDI. Deputy Prime Minister Datuk Seri Dr. Ahmad Zahid Hamidi said, although the fundamentals of the Malaysian economy are strong, the sentiment toward the country's investment climate showed otherwise.
Therefore, Zahid suggested implementing new credit incentives such as a tax holiday.
Langkah-langkah menyediakan insentif cukai yang mapan dan bersifat semasa pasti akan meredakan kebimbangan dalam kalangan pelabur asing. Kita perlu mengembalikan daya saing negara agar tidak tenggelam dengan kepantasan serta kerancakan ekonomi negara-negara jiran.
He said the country's competitiveness needs to be restored so as to not be left behind by neighboring economies' pace of progress and rapid development. He said this when delivering the president's policy speech at the UMNO General Assembly 2022 today. Zahid added that among the immediate priorities are the creation of job and business opportunities, reskilling and upskilling programs, as well as job matching according to qualifications. Now, Zahid also said he has urged Minister of Foreign Affairs, Dato Sri Zamri Abdul Qadir, to continue efforts to restore Malaysia's image in the world and immediately implement drastic measures to capture the hearts of foreign investors. Now, Minister of International Trade and Industry, Tengku Dato Sri Zafrul Abdul Aziz, has also been urged to work on immediate measures to promote Malaysia as an investor-friendly country that offers a conducive investment climate.
Limpahan pelaburan asing sudah tentu akan dapat meningkatkan pertumbuhan ekonomi. Ini telah saya beritahu pada Menteri MITI. Usaha ini mesti dilakukan untuk menjana peluang pekerjaan baru buat anak bangsa kita.
Wrapping up the Nightline, Lisa Marie Presley, the only child of Elvis Presley, died on Thursday, January 13th, after being hospitalized. Her mother, Priscilla Presley, shared the devastating news through a statement hours after Lisa Marie Presley was rushed to the hospital earlier on Thursday.
According to a spokesperson for the county's fire department, Craig Little, Los Angeles County paramedics were dispatched to a Calabasas home at 10:37 a.m. following a report of a woman in full cardiac arrest. Property records indicate Presley was a resident at that address. A subsequent statement from the Los Angeles County Sheriff's Department said paramedics performed CPR and determined the patient had signs of life before taking her to a hospital in nearby West Hills immediately. The city of Calabasas is nestled between the foothills of the Santa Monica and the Santa Susana Mountains, about 50 kilometers northwest of downtown Los Angeles.
See the world closer with TVS as we bring you the latest news updates both locally and internationally. Just a click away by heading on to our website at www.tvstv.my or by following us on our social media platforms. And those were the news for tonight's TVS Nightline. Once again, my name is Mohammed Yusuf. Thank you for watching. Good night and take care.